Welcome everyone to the Co-Creators Convergence Third Thursday call. I'm Noelle Marshall, and I'm here with my beloved Bob Warner.
Hi everyone, good evening. Great to have you with us.
And together we call ourselves
Life partners.
And somehow we became the mom and pop of the Co-Creators Convergence. And for some of you that are new, I'm going to play a very short video that's going to tell you a little bit about the Co-Creators Convergence. So that is a little bit about us. And I'm going to ask everyone to, I'm going to ask, I guess, Tex, are you going to lead us in a meditation? Bring us into a centering, please.
Okay, thank you, Noelle and Bob, for welcoming us again to the Co-Creators Convergence. I'd like to ask each of us to focus on our breathing. Because we breathe, because we are breathing, we are alive. And through breathing, we are at one with each other across the world. We are at one with all aerobic beings, all aerobic plants. The air that we're breathing is circulating around the planet, and we are all breathing the same air in a way. So through breathing, we are, our oneness on the planet is a fact in a way. So as we breathe, I'd like to ask us to focus on our heart area. The more and more there's scientific researches that is proving that intentional heart-focused meditation, focusing on our heart and intentions of love, intentions of healing, intentions of well-being towards someone or towards a situation, effectively generates out of our chest area hundreds of thousands of light photons, whereas someone on average who's not focusing on the heart and having intentions of love or good intentions for, you know, a situation or for someone, barely has 20,000 photons of light emitting from the chest area. But when it's heart-centered and focused in good intention and focused in love, there's 100,000 photons of light that's been measured. That experiment was done by Kassel University in Germany. And we have organizations like HeartMath or I Am Heart that have been over the years doing a lot of work in promoting awareness of the importance of our heart and being heart-centered. And this actually, to me, proves that we can effectively be the change we want to see in the world. So being heart-centered, let's take 3 breaths, in breaths, out breaths, and a little moment of silence and focus on our heart and love emanating out of our heart. Thank you. Now, this moment of stillness among us here, hopefully, will generate in synergy, we can say, an emergent dialogue. Now, Noelle Pollet, who is presenting this evening on the topic of peace work and building community around passions. She's developed that over the years. I've had the opportunity to listen to her once. So what she calls peace work, which is what she's doing, which is her passion, is modeled after the prison-based alternatives to violence project in which she was involved for several years. And from her perspective of what she's promoting, it is a highly interactive, transformative, and fun process. And she plans to lead us through a shortened version this evening to show us how we could develop our passion and build community around passion. Now, I think the best person to share her passion with us is Noelle herself. It's almost like a chocolate, you know. We cannot just explain chocolate. We have to taste chocolate. So Noelle's passion has to be sensed through Noelle. So I let Noelle, start her presentation.
Thank you. Thank you. I would really appreciate it if people would put on their cameras if they're comfortable with that. It's just, I am used to doing this work in a circle, so it's a little bit disconcerting not to have faces and beings there. I did it. I've done circle work of this nature for 30 years next year, and I'm still involved with the Alternatives to Violence Project. And I have a particular passion for this work because when I went into my first prison workshop in 1992, I was in and out of mental hospitals. I have many diagnoses, including schizophrenia, manic depression, chronic depression, post-traumatic stress disorder, blah, 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 blah. I can go on, but that's enough. And the therapy that I had on and off since age 6, when I got my first label, which was emotionally disturbed, which is the most true one I could tell you that I could experience of all those, just in 3 days was blown out of the water. The experience that I had in this 3-day workshop in Greenhaven Prison in New York State just healed me in tremendously powerful ways so quickly. I feel like it's because we are pack animals and normally we don't really roll in healthy packs. You guys are starting to, I'm starting to, but at the time I didn't have that luxury. But being in a healthy pack for 3 days where, you know, people were just sort of invited into a process or a model format where we all just got to shine. We got to take risks. We got to bring up trauma bubbles and disperse them together. We got to play. There was, negotiable ground, community agreements. Everything just sort of was healthy. It just operated in a really healthy way. And I just witnessed other people through the years just healing so profoundly from this process, So Alternatives to Violence started in 1975. When people who had been involved with the Attica uprising in New York State ended up in other prisons. People were farmed out. These are people that had gone through real bloodbath, death on the correctional officers, death of the inmates. And so they were farmed to another place. There were a lot of young people in this prison they went to in Greenhaven, in Stormville, New York. And they said, we got to do something to help these guys. They're not behaving in ways that are going to help them in the long run. So they invited Quakers who had been doing services, I believe, in the prison. And then the Quakers in turn invited civil rights leaders. So altogether, they fashioned, by borrowing, stealing from the Gestalt people, all this stuff that was going on in the 70s in human, consciousness development and interactive activities and stuff. So, and then ever since, people have been like myself, just, creating more and more stuff to do in these groups. But there's a, basic formula for it, and it's behind me. Wait, I got to point in the right direction. Where it's just generally speaking, I now call what I do piecework, because I wanted to bring what I was learning into the mental health realm, because I just felt people are not getting what they need to heal, and this really does it. It's basically some form of a welcome. I added the grounding. They don't necessarily do that in Alternatives to Violence Project. A gathering, which is every voice is heard. I'm also going to just be negotiating some cooperative agreements. That is part of that beginning process. An exercise, a light and lively, which is playful activity, and then maybe another exercise if we have time, which I don't think we will today, but that's the general session would last. It could last 2 hours, 2.5 hours, and it would have all of these components, and then an affectionate closing at the end. So that's just basically it. It seems like, yeah, so what? I don't know why, but it really, really is profoundly bonding, enjoyable. Ideally, these are done in teams, which is why, I requested that techs do the grounding, and that, I've asked Annie for some help doing a little exercise that I want to do shortly. If we can pre-plan together as a team, do team building work together so we feel all connected to one another. That's a delightful aspect and a more true to Alternatives to Violence Project way of going about it. So I'm not supposed to talk very long, really keep it pretty short, but I do want to share a few things about it. It's a one-size-fits-all kind of model. I'm going to put in the chat in a little while my contact information, my website. There's a piecework toolkit that you can download for free. It was designed for the mental health system, but it really just gives the whole story in a 110-page nutshell. And also, I have on my website, I done it for about, over between 30 and 40 family circles. I had a little dynamic in my own family that wasn't healthy. And oh my Lord, I have been to family counseling. It's nothing. It doesn't touch how valuable this is for families. It really is. And there's a book coming out. I don't know precisely when, but AVP, Alternatives to Violence Project has a chapter on family circles that I wrote in. That will be out in not too long. So another, I've done it with young people. My son's high school for 12 years it ran. I did it for 6, and then it just kept going with, teams of teenagers co-facilitating. Homeless shelters. It's been done. It is being done for refugees, for people who have experienced genocide through Alternatives to Violence Project. I have not done that work, but it's spread since 1975 into 65 countries, all on volunteer power. Recently, we've allowed folks who are trained to, if they figure out how to get some funding, they can be paid these days. But that's new, and all of this spread was just because it's so incredibly transformative and enjoyable. So one other wonderful thing that I bring to you and, as co-creators of our new world, I'm feeling like my joy now is to share it with folks who really want to just put their, be the Barbara Marx Hubbard, angels, go out there and find your gifts, utilize them. And whatever you're doing, no matter how wonderful it is already, you might find something in what we're doing tonight to enhance what you're doing, just to help people feel more like they own what you're doing. So it's not so much I'm the star and here's, you come and participate in this thing I've created, but let us co-create this thing together, which is what I'm hoping to do tonight, is co-create something together. And then you'll get a flavor, hopefully feel some of the energy of being co-creators and just the joy in that. Also, I can use this, and I have, if I've got some area in myself, I know I need to do some work, emotional cleanup work. I can just invite people into a circle and say, I want to do this circle on touch. I like to be able to, get a little clearer on what my issues are around touch. So, and just come up with a bunch of exercises where people are, okay, we're all giving each other a little 1 minute back rub in each direction. How did that feel? Okay, now one person's going to be a volunteer, and how did that feel, and what did it feel to watch this person being touched, and just whatever it is, you can really get deeply aware, because a big piece of the idea is that we do activities that you normally wouldn't do, and then you go dig inside. What was that about? What was that for? What did that bring to mind? How does this apply to my life? There's so much wisdom in us that we're not necessarily aware of, and definitely people like in the prison and the mental health system, that was a big boon to find out, oh my God, I got smarts in here I had no idea that I had. So I think I want to get started so we actually have enough time to do some aspect of it before the, wrap up. Your wrap up is like about, what kind of time would you like to wrap up? I just want to keep my eye on the clock a little bit.
We usually go for about 90 minutes. So we have another hour, a little over an hour left.
Oh, okay, fabulous. Because I thought you might want to have some question and answer or something at the end. I'll try to.
Absolutely. We always
Yeah.
like to have interaction.
Inclusive with that.
Okay, well, I'll try to leave about 15 minutes at least for that at the end. So we'll look at it about 45 minutes. Okay, fantastic. So behind me, I'm going to just show you real quickly, what I put together for tonight as a my agenda that I'm looking at. Here we have my little introduction, a little bit on piecework, a little testimony, blah, blah, blah. I've got Annie doing a little piece for me. We had a grounding, cooperative agreements. Just notice yourself. I mean, there's quite a lot of them in AVP and piecework, but the most important ones to me are just notice keeping it elegant as best we can, because every voice being heard is so completely germane to this working well. If anybody takes over too much, I think the totem animal of this process are the birds that fly in groups, flocks, and then one's the leader and goes in this direction, and then the other one leads us in another direction. That's the ideal, that we just start to get that kind of a balanced, just if getting a skill for noticing where the energy is going, which I'm noticing now that I want to have you involved soon. But anyway, then we're going to have actually I've changed. Oh yeah, we're going to do a little picking a name out of a hat for anybody who might be interested in being our little guinea pig for the time. And then all of the rest of the activities here are to be determined based on what that person's passion is. So we'll build something together. They will be the primary voice, but we'll all get to have 2 cents to help them because we're co-creators. We're going to help, juicing it up. So I think basically cooperative agreements that I'm just this would be a negotiation normally, but I'm not not negotiating because of time. But the idea for me is notice oneself, wait, why am I talking, or why aren't I talking? Just to find that lovely balance of everybody's light shining together, so we all are twinkling in a like a giant Christmas tree or something. So affirm self and others, right to pass. If anything at any point doesn't feel comfortable, just for your modeling, taking care of yourself, just to say thank you anyway, that's not for me right now. So those are the ones. Can we all live with those for the next 45 minutes? Does anybody have a passion for anything I'm missing? Good enough.
You can
right?
raise your hand under the reactions. There's a raise hand. You can do it that way, or you can put it in the chat or sing out.
I haven't checked out the chat. I'm not so good at looking at the chat while I'm doing stuff. I do have some stuff to put in there. One thing I wanted to tell you too is I am planning on turning this into a global movement. I am involved with Earth Waking Community, which is actually where I got involved with the Unity Week, World Unity Week. And I'm going to put links for them too, because they have given me the confidence to think that I might go out there and share this in just a massive global way. And okay, I'm doing it. I know how powerful this is. And if we who love, just getting the world right, start, utilizing this, I feel like, even if it's just pieces of it or whatever, it's going to really make a difference. It's not, perhaps it doesn't need saving, but it sure would be nice to be tweaked to a more joyful kind of experience here on Earth as we evolve. Amen. So, okay. Annie, are you ready? And first I want to ask, is everybody willing to be the possible person who is going to be the guinea pig for this? Because if you're not, just let us know. And so you can, I don't know how to do what's the best way to do that? Okay. I guess if you're not willing, speak up or forever hold your peace.
Let's do it.
All righty, fantastic. So Annie, did you put your name in the hat or some magical way of selecting a totally random one? She wrote everybody's name down as they came in.
Yes, so I'm going to say that Catherine is chosen.
Catherine is chosen. Woohoo! And our Australia, and I love that because her passion for passion was so passionate. Okay. All right. So what we're going to do here is we're going to be looking at this wrong direction again, the agenda, and a gathering is. So if you were the person doing this work, let us just explore for one moment something that just like Barbara Marx Hubbard, what was those words in the beginning that, the gift that you have to bring to help bring in the new world. What is your biggest gift that you want to share with the world?
I'm kind of working on the whole shebang, like I've got an overall global project of how to get from where we are to the next thing. So in that I am, that has a lot of different elements to it. Like one is like writing the plan down, and a book that has 3 different sections for different levels and stages, and also just community activations like I spoke about. So very much like creating it's like a workshop, I guess, but and getting people in the communities to come together and do the whole sort of Barbara Marx Hubbard thing of their, like, lining them up with their passions and their sectors, and having some kind of a platform. That's the bit I haven't quite worked out yet, where we can interact and collaborate, but really getting everyone's passions out and their ideas and joining them together with other people, and really getting self-reliant communities. And with that as well is Sociocracy, which I don't know if you guys have heard of that, but it was actually developed by Quakers. I keep hearing Quakers are doing everything everywhere. Like, and
I think
and,
I think if I might, I've found enough for my purposes at this point. I thank you so much. And what I'm hearing is you actually have an extremely similar thing that you're up to and excited about that I'm up to and excited about, which is very exciting for me. But you're wanting to invite people in to, look inside for their passion so that we can just, get this snowball going of people out there doing things that they're supposed to be doing, that they bring them the most joy. So if you were, I think in a way, if you were to welcome people, you kind of just did that in a way. You told us about some of your passion. So I'm gonna call that the orientation a little bit. I want people to come into this event that I've created, and in this event, I'm looking for you to discern your passion and let us think about, what that might look like for each of you. And if you had a bunch of people on a Zoom call or in a circle and you wanted them to explore their passions, the next piece of the agenda would be, you might do the grounding because you got to welcome an overview. And so you'd invite somebody, if you were doing it the way I'm promoting at this point, you might invite somebody in, or you might take it on yourself to ground people in their passion in some way. You might say, go inside, connect to your heart, breathe, whatever you might want to say, or you might guide somebody else to lead that. I would like somebody to lead a grounding wherein you just bring us into a state of peace where we can just invite, from source, from bubbling up from the deep well, my joy, my most joyful passion, or something like that. So, just have people sort of rest in that moment of exploration where they're looking for that passion, the one that's going to float their boat the most in the moment. And then you would create a gathering, and then we're about to do this gathering that you create. And I'm going to ask people to keep it to like a sentence or so, keep it real succinct so that we can get through the agenda. But you'd be coming up with a statement that everybody would finish. So, we just took this moment to go deep within. I got in touch with this thing that maybe it's the thing that when I was 4 years old made me laugh like a kid, or maybe it's the thing I've known my whole life I'm passionate about, or whatever it is. And then just, what statement might you have everybody finish? I can, an example might be, I discovered I'm passionate about ... And then each person is going to finish that sentence. So will you think of a statement that we can all finish relating to the passion you would like us to get in touch with in ourselves?
I would really start by, like, the start that I would do would be to get everyone's imagining and speaking about what the world actually looks like that they want to create. Like, that would be my starting place. So then I would get everyone to say, so what does it look like and feel like? And I'd get everyone just to really imagine that up. And then I would just come back to, and yeah, using the 5 senses, and everyone maybe putting a words up on the board of what that is. So sharing together after you've done the imagination.
That's
and
beautiful.
Then I would come back to this current time. Where are you at now? Where are you at now? And then step towards that. So that bringing up the passion in that. Do you know what I mean?
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. I wanted to suggest to people that if this process feels meaningful to you, if you want to sort of sketch out, what your passion is, and what your orientation might look like, and what your grounding might look like, and what your gathering statement would look like. And so I'm going to share with you what I received from that. I thought that was beautiful. And this is like a structure where you can all these things you want to do, you can accomplish within this structure. So if you wanted to take, and believe me, you can take the structure and, you know, throw out whatever doesn't work and put in whatever works. But I'm gonna keep along with the structure that I've got as a foundation. So if you want to have people initially see what is this world, and I literally did this last week in a group. You know, what I can't remember what I got it somewhere, but the question is, you know, the new world I envision contains, and then each person would finish that statement or something like that. So I'm trying to get us to the point where we're actually literally doing the gathering. So what is a statement that we can all finish that will float your boat as far as where you want to go first?
Yeah, that sounds good.
I forgot what it was. Anybody remember?
The new world I envision contains.
Okay, so you would be the one to go first as the facilitator, and you would model how, because if you model right now, I mean, we can't right now, we've got to keep it to like a sentence or so to get through the process. But if you will model, like, you know, you may want really literally to have everybody get as detailed as they can. So you might model in very great detail. But if you model a short thing, you're going to get a shorter thing. If you model a long thing, you're going to get a long thing. So in this case, I am requesting that you respond to your own statement and then do it within a sentence or so, and then you just pass to the next person, and each person will pass to the next person. So we'll all get a chance to respond to that statement. So how about you go first? Let's hear yours.
Okay, so the new world I envisage contains a whole new system where individuals are more empowered. So communities are empowered, and equality, like everyone having an equal voice in the things that matter to them. That's super important. Yeah.
So you pass to someone, and then they'll pass it on to the
Annie.
next one.
I'll pass to Annie.
Good job, Catherine.
I should say.
The new world I envision contains a welcome for the values of early childhood for every person, no matter their age. That the sense of wonderment, sense of joy, and being in love with life would be valued above all, because it makes one's heart sing.
Will you pass?
I pass the stick to Aubrey.
A new world that I envision contains a just system and dogs.
A just system, and what was the last?
And dogs.
And dogs.
And please pass along.
I pass to Noelle.
Oh, okay. The new world I envision contains the population of the earth living the Beatitudes. Because I think that
Living with what?
the Beatitudes, that the Sermon on the Mount, that Jesus told us how basically to live in life. And they're called the Beatitudes. I can put a reference in there for you. But I can't tell the story now, but the Beatitudes saved my life. So I pass it. I will pass to Viola.
Unmute Viola.
The new world I envision would have something to do with clear communication.
Thank you. I appreciated that brevity. That was beautiful. Will you pass, please?
Text.
Well, in the new world I envision, citizens' collaborative solidarity, which is effectively love in action, would be empowered. I'll be brief.
Bless you, bless you. Will you please pass to someone? But notice how much we want to talk. I mean, that's a really good thing to notice because this just feels like, you know, we all get a voice. So who would you pass to?
I'll pass it to David.
Thank you. The new world that I envision contains people who really listen to each other and that really understand that they're leaders, that everyone's a leader. And that might be leading from behind too, not necessarily being in the front of the pack, but leading from wherever you are in the pack. And I will pass to my lovely wife, Talia.
The new world I envision involves, yes, empowering a clear communication between all of our different ways, all of our differences, older and younger people in the group, the ways that we look, men and women, races, different colors, sizes, and shapes. And that we would just watch out for one another and build each other up. So I will leave it at that.
Pass to?
Oh, and I will pass to Bob. You're on mute.
The new world I envision contains life sufficiency, joy, and love for all humans, and regenerative life systems for our planet. Period. And I pass to my sister Becky.
Love everybody. Sorry that I'm late. The new world that I'm co-creating is one where emotional honesty occurs, and as painful things are expressed, it doesn't come out through violence, it comes out through the presence of love and changes the world to be more accepting and peaceful, and also changes so that there's less inequality. And I'll pass to Pamela. I don't think you went yet, Pamela, did you?
Not yet, but I am delighted to. And the new world that I envision is a divine playground. And what I see is based on an experience I had where I went back in time and I was a child at the feet of Jesus when he said, "Let the children come to me, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven." And children are innocent and playful and love unconditionally, and they are curious and joyful. And I just think it would be so awesome if we all knew the kingdom of heaven within us and express that. And I will pass to Thomas. Thomas, if you're with us, you can unmute and share what you envision the new world to be.
And right to pass is absolutely a thing. So we'll just say, Thomas, you passed and you have the right to pass. And Catherine clearly would be moderating all this when it was her thing. I'm sort of doing a little bit of that. But in any case, I didn't go yet, so I'll go. Boy, did I love Becky and Pamela's. I loved everybody's, but those are the ones that just really spoke to me. And I will add, in the Earthwaking community, one of the absolute foundational pieces is we are 100% responsible for our experience. We are sovereign beings, and we can, create the world of our choice. And if it hurts, go inside and find out what is in there and heal it. So with that, I say thank you, Catherine. You're back on the hot seat. So you already were describing the exercise that you want to do. So the first exercise you want to do, you've just talked about, envisioning this world you want. So that's one thing we've done to try to do a little of that. But then you talked about an exercise with putting things on the board with, just think about if you had 20 minutes to a half hour to just invite people, they're human beings are your medium, and invite them, into some kind of a activity that would really help them embody or whatever it is you want to do, this idea of a new world, and discovering their passion, what they care to bring to it. And literally, it's so amazing. Last Saturday, I did this Vision the New World. And this week we're doing, because of Halloween, we're dressing up as the role we want to play. I'm going to be a mermaid with this very green hair. So, and I think that's the play that Pamela was talking about. So what would you have us do? And we can do it for, I don't know, 5-10 minutes, maybe, just whatever it is you want us to do.
Okay, so now that we have this vision of the world and it's been all filled in together and we can get a real good sense of that, now I would have people, do you want me just to do it? Or describe
do it?
it?
I'm going to keep it within about 10 minutes or so we just get the fullness of the experience. But yes, get us going for 10 or so minutes. Yes, please.
Okay, so if everyone would like to just close their eyes and really envision this world as we want it, like feel that love and that joy, that connection, that sense of communities being empowered, and really get a great felt sense of it, like imagine it's happening and you're in a day and you're walking around experiencing this world that we really want to co-create together. I'd like you now just to let that fall away and just imagine a light from above coming right down and filling you, filling your whole heart space. And as you breathe out, breathe down right into the earth. And breathe up the earth energy and feel that energy filling you up from beautiful Mother Nature, Earth. And breathing out through the top. And breathe in that light from above. And breathe out into the earth, into the very core of the earth. And now as you breathe in that earth energy, just picture yourself as a cell and feel that cell dividing into two as they do that, and feel into the force that divides the cell, and feel that force and allow that force to come up through you, and feeling that force in your heart, and really feeling where you are right now and feeling this force. And feeling this force, just take a step towards this picture that we've created of this new world. And feel really, what's my next step in creating this new world, this world that I want? What's my next step? So just ask yourself that. And ask yourself, what is my role in creating this? And feel that next step. And feel yourself taking that next step. And also feel what is coming up for you as you move towards this thing. When you, what emotions come up to you for you? What's blocking you from creating this? And really feel into that. Like what emotions or beliefs about yourself or who you have to be, what any blockages that are coming there. And then I would like people just to share when you're ready on what your next step is and what is blocking you. Yeah.
I don't know that I'm the only one who could say such a thing, but I thought that was magnificent. That was extremely nutritious for me. I'm very grateful. And I'll share right
Awesome.
off because I opened my mouth and a lot of emotion came up around the blockage. I already have an idea of where I'm going, but there still is some feeling of, unworthiness mixed in. And it was just beautiful to touch it and allow it to be, bubble up. Thank you. And this, by the way, this debriefing is like absolutely key. So, may not be that every voice is heard richly because we won't have enough time, but that's so magnificent to that's where the meat is in this kind of debriefing. Go ahead.
Awesome. Okay, so if anyone else wants to share, maybe just pipe in, and if we're not going to get time for everybody, just
I'll
be
share.
lovely to hear.
I'm very committed to sharing the blueprint for the human spirit, this amazing gift that was given to me. And I feel like I kind of wasted some time over the years with other things. I didn't. I was learning things and growing and doing whatever, but I feel a sense of urgency. And I feel that I'm ready now, and I feel that so is the world. And so the only thing that can stop me is any sense of limitations that I might have. And one limitation was I had worked alone for many years, and I did find someone to help me. And I'm finding groups to participate with, like this particular group, which I am so blessed to be a part of. And so I feel just absolute joy, and that the sky's the limit. So I'm just thrilled to be a part of this and to have a chance to share this gift.
Thank you. Beautiful. Anyone else? Noelle, are
This is
you
next
muted?
step. I would say next step for me is to keep working on me. You know, this it's easy to say we're one and be part of unity. It's another thing to live it. And that is, you know, we've been so programmed into, I mean, face it, we're programmed, you know, we're still in the womb, you know, maybe many lifetimes before that. So to undo all that, that's what I think the blocks are. And so I still have to keep let's say, an archaeologist, personal archaeologist. So, you know, to, you know, release the fear and bring in the love. So I'm complete.
Nice. Do we have time for some more people to share, Noelle?
How about one more? Anybody just want to? There we go.
For me, I totally agree with Noelle. The only block is in me. And but I was thinking one thing I want to do is write a book, but it's kind of vaguely related to what I was talking about earlier about leadership and listening. And it's called The New Man. The New Man. And it's about being a gentleman and what that means for me. And I feel like, but it's just it's an ongoing process of letting go of all that back conditioning, all that stuff I'm carrying with me. So yeah, but the real block is I feel like I need help with that. I need, like, I can't do it by myself. You know, like people have mentioned that earlier. Pamela, I think you mentioned it. You know, I can't write this book on my own. It has to be kind of a group effort. So yeah, that's it.
Awesome. Goosebumps.
Well, that was beautiful. That was just so, and you're so ripe. You're so ready. You're already doing it, for crying out loud. This is so fun to do it with folks. And that is, you know, with certain groups of people, and even in the prison, there were some people that just absolutely were there. They had it, you know, for whatever reason, they had the skills right there. They're ready to do the work. And then other people would be, you know, in a process of coming along. But clearly, Catherine is right there. Doesn't have to do a darn thing. It sounds like you've already really done this, but this is a package that you could promote it in. And, you know, if you did one this week and then said, I'm going to be doing this every week, I'm going to be exploring this, I'm going to be growing with you folks, and this is my passion, and let's do this together. And that's the way you create, you know, community around your passion, is the idea. So the next thing on the agenda is the light and lively. And that really is a key piece. And so you could have something prepared that would really just suit your needs. I'm loving, you know, Pamela's energy of the children. That's so important to get us acting like children together, being children together. It really, and people will bring up this incredible trauma, you know, huge, heavy duty. We're all sitting there going, holy shit, this is what, the next thing you know, we're running around laughing out the trauma energy, just flying through the air with, you know, just just amazing, you know, just healing happening, because it's so, you know, the energy had to come up and we're all releasing it together. It's just profound. But anyway, can you think of a quick little thing we might do to get up and be goofy around the new vision that you can think of? Or, you know, you could offer it to somebody else, you know, anything. I'm a little teapot. Who we're pointing at somebody. Who are you pointing at, Noelle?
Becky, joy fuel, joy fuel, joy fuel.
I was
She's got all
about to
kind of
lean
great
in.
stuff.
So I have something that we all
Wait,
could
let me
do.
just ask Catherine, because she's, is that okay,
Oh,
Catherine?
I'm sorry.
Can we pass
That
this off
sounds
to
perfect.
Becky?
Perfect. Yeah.
Perfect. Excellent.
Sorry
I
about
love
that.
No, that was great. That was absolutely, that's exactly what I'm talking about, the birds. That was a bird action. It was a good thing, but I just wanted, because we had given this to Catherine, I just wanted to make sure she was okay with it. Good. The bird is Becky. She's the lead bird.
Tweedle, tweet, 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 tweet. So if anybody would like to stand up as you are able and as you choose, we're going to strike a pose for how we're feeling right now. Just try and use your whole body to make a pose. I'll turn off my background, and perhaps we could hold the pose together. There you go. You ready? You got your pose, everybody? Ready? You make your pose?
Yes.
And freeze the pose. Freeze the pose. Freeze the pose. Beautiful. It's lovely to see everybody's arms everywhere. Our bodies a little bit. Thank you for playing, everyone.
I'll be swimming in all the love and all the wisdom on this call here, right now, with all of us CCCers. Woohoo!
Dance a little dance.
Sound like you've been to Texas recently, Noelle.
You got that right. And what Noelle is describing is our CCC gathering. Wouldn't you say, David and Talia, Aubrey?
Yeah.
You know, we call it, what do we call it?
I don't know what we call it.
We call it a love
Fest
gathering with a,
theme.
what is it?
Love fest with a theme.
Love fest with a theme. And we do a lot of trauma release. We do a lot of laughter. We do a lot of nature things. So what you're describing is, you're right. You probably didn't even know it. You're part of the family.
No, that's fabulous. And I do feel like, I mean, this, wherever it came from, and it came from Gurdjieff, it came from, not Gurdjieff, Gestalt, it came from a million different places. And it is in the fact that, is spreading, so many people are just adding, what do they call, icebreakers to things. And, it's just little by little, it's getting experiential all over the place. And that is phenomenal. So this just happened to be one, solid, beautiful thing that's been growing since 1975. By the way, one of the founding pieces was the Course in Miracles. People from the Course in Miracles were also involved with that initiation of that process. So, and I didn't know that for years and years, but I'm going to pretty shortly put some things in the, well, I can wait till we do our thing in 8 minutes with question and answer, and I'll do that then. But the next little piece would be another exercise. So we may not do it, Catherine, but it sounds like you already know where you want to go from there. And you could design a Light and Lively that specifically meets your needs, and you don't have to invite somebody to do that, but you could, that was joyful having Becky make us get up and do something, move our little heinies. Do you know what you want to do after that little goofiness?
Well, after that, oof. Now I'm getting on the spot. Do you mean for a thing I would be creating and doing with people, or just what I want us all to do together now?
Well, I don't think we'll probably have too much time to do together now, but you did mention like putting, you had another activity, it sounded like, in your mind that you just to tell us this is something I might do after the Light and Lively.
Yes.
I might invite people in. I will say things like, alternating things like right and left brain activities. So would everybody draw a picture of the new world and then tell us about your picture? That's a beautiful little kind of exercise.
Okay. Yeah, no, what I would do too is like, I do healing work, so I would also just do a little exercise where you're releasing those beliefs, like just it's a little process to really release those beliefs and call in what is actually the truth, because they're not based in the truth, they're just something you picked up, from your past. So I would do that, and then I would get people into groups.
Is that a guided meditation also, a little guided meditation, that little piece?
Yeah, it is.
Do you think you might be able to touch into that with us for just like a few minutes? Would you like to? I'll put it that way. Would you like to?
Yeah, I could do that, but I also have to just rush to the toilet for a minute.
Light and lively time. Everybody who's got to pee, go ahead. You're welcome.
All right, I'll just do that.
I bet she's going to come back later.
That's a given.
I had a thought as you were talking and as we were doing all these things, how important it is. And especially with my work with my blueprint, which is holistic, in that if you're going to make changes in your own life or in the world, it has to touch all aspects of life. It can't just be an intellectual idea. It can't just be a heart feeling. It can't just be an intuitive knowing. It can't just be, you know, something that is a part of our deepest desires, but it's something that we have to put legs to and hands and heart to, and we have to bring it all together into wholeness.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, there's so many different types of exercises that some people will really, especially in the prison, I've seen, you know, some people will just not be able to do something and they'll feel like I'm just not verbal. I'm not, you know, but the next thing you know, there's some kind of light and lively that involves numbers or something. And they're like aces. So everybody gets to feel good about themselves because they're going to shine in some area. So will you help us a little bit there, Catherine, with your move us out of that last place? Thank you.
Yeah, okay. So I'll just invite everyone to close their eyes again and to take a deep breath in and letting it out. And just feeling yourself relaxing. And just imagine a downward facing staircase in front of you. And it has 5 steps. And this is a magical staircase because it can take you into your past where all these beliefs about yourself have come from. So, and who and how you've formed these negative beliefs you've got about yourself, or feeling like you're not enough, feeling like you're not capable, feeling like you have to play small. So when you're ready, just step on the top step, step 5, 4, 3, and just feel yourself getting more and more relaxed and going deeper and deeper. And just feel yourself flowing back in time. 2. When you get ready to step on the final step, and you will find yourself at a campfire with all the people that have played a part in this negative belief forming. And this, so step 1, and feel yourself at this campfire and see everyone around you. It could even be the whole culture of the world. Like it could be your whole culture. It could be just your parents, siblings, and see who's there and see how they have formed you to believe these limiting beliefs about yourself. And just let all the people there know that it's your intention to let go of these beliefs now. And also at the campfire is a mentor who you really trust, and you feel safe in their presence and you trust their wisdom. And just ask your mentor, what has been the benefit of having these limiting beliefs? How has it helped you on your path?
Mm.
And see the gift of these beliefs and limitations and how they've helped you and will help you in your path for what you want to create in creating this world, this new world. And now let everyone know at the campfire, it's your intention to let go of these old beliefs and allow your mentor to step inside and just sweep you clean of these limitations and beliefs that aren't true, that you have just picked up from your situation. And feel them being completely cleaned out from all your cells and even in between your cells. Feel that whole beliefs moving out. And see a cord going from you to all the people or person at this campfire that this, allow your mentor to cut it with a big sword or something and put love and light and healing on each end and let that light come back into yourself and go back through them. And feel the healing back through the generations. Because it's all just been passed down through generations. And now ask your mentor and ask yourself for the formation of the truth. What is the real truth? What is the truth that is the balm, the remedy for this belief? What is the actual truth? And just ask yourself and let the answer bubble up. And this real truth of who you are, the truth of who you are and what you're capable of. And just feel this truth, this joy, love, however it's come up for you, and just feel that being filled into every cell of your body and even in between your cells, and really feel this truth. The real reality, filling every cell of your body. And just thank everyone at the campfire of unconditional love and allow them to disappear now into the campfire, and thank them for the role that they played in helping you on your path. Now imagine that new world of love and joy and equality and empowerment that we want to create together. And take your step towards it, your next step, asking your next step, and see how it feels with this truth of who you are, this embodiment of it, as you step towards your next step on the path towards this world we all yearn to create together. And when you're ready, you can open your eyes and either write down or share or whatever you want to do.
Thank you, thank you. I've got not too much time left for, but boy, was that beautiful. That was so helpful. Really, really terrific. So I just feel like we're ready, man. So does anybody have a real burning desire to say something, or can I wrap the little piece up with giving you your, question and answer period?
Yeah, I'm going to say something, if that's all right.
Absolutely.
So I went down to the campfire and everybody was like holding their script. And they were laughing because it was all a big joke. It was all like, we've made this all up. And so then we had a good time, and then we threw our scripts into the fire. So I was
Wow, awesome.
kind of having a good time there. So it's all stuff we made up in this illusion. So
Wow.
and I'm not sure there's truth in illusion, but that's what came to me. So over to you, Noelle.
Wow.
Thank you, thank you. That
And
was
thank
just
you for that, Catherine. That was really fabulous.
powerful, beautiful. And I mean, you could see where it would be my joy if anything that we did tonight helps Catherine. I have a reason for living because she's supposed to be out there doing that stuff. Clearly, that is just powerful, beautiful things you're doing really, really well. So
Beautiful.
yeah, I
Well,
I
thank
kind of
you.
want to, you're welcome. It was a joy to participate. I feel like, has anybody got any, last moment thing? Because I don't want to deprive anybody of if they need to say something about that. I just give. All right, well, I'll let that rest then. Thank you. So the last little piece that we would do if you were doing, this full thing is some form of closing. In Earthwaking, we say, would somebody send us out in love? I think you could do that here too. Just have somebody say a little blessing or prayer if it feels right. Or there's literally like, a gift I see in you around the circle, or, there's just all kinds of things. In my Piecework Toolkit, there are a lot of exercises that could be modified, and there's closings and there's groundings and there's things like that. So I'm going to put that in the chat now that you can all have that. And I will share with you that I have a free masterclass coming up on Saturday, the 30th. That's this Saturday, 1 to 3 Pacific, and the rest of the times, that whatever your time zone is. And what I do there, this is my second one of these. This is part of my homework from the global mastery movement. It feels completely alien to me. It was so uncomfortable to ask people for money that I started a 508c1a, which is a tax deductible, faith-based organization thing, so that I wouldn't have to ask people for money. I say, you're joining a movement, so you can donate to support that. It's tax deductible. So, but the suggested donation of the 4-week training that will follow that is $111, which was not terribly painful to ask people for. But so on Saturday, it's free. And I really feel like between one of these kind of experiences and the toolkit, you don't need to pay anything. You really, get some practice. I also always recommend, and it's in the chat, getting involved with your local Alternatives to Violence project. If you are able to do that, if there is one in your area, there's one in many people's area, but not all areas. And just really literally just get trained. They have trainings online now that are really affordable. They are free if you go into prison, but they're, some kind of sliding scale, like, I don't know, $25 to $100 or something for a workshop, 3-day workshop. And they would probably never, ever not let somebody join if they didn't have money also. So anyway, questions? I got 7 minutes.
Yeah, I think David and Talia, didn't you say you did something with the AVP? Did you tell me that?
Yeah, when we were in San Diego, I was involved with AVP. Yeah, for a short time. I actually went to one prison one time, and it was Donovan Prison near San Diego, and it was a very emotional experience for me. I cried almost the whole time. I felt so much empathy for I was paired up with this black man, and I just felt so much empathy and love for him. I couldn't stop crying.
Well, thank you, David. I've never heard of AVP before, but I have about 1,000 books that I've been trying to give away, particularly to prisons, a set of books. So if anybody does have access into prisons in the United States, you know, please contact me, and I would love to be able to send a set of books. They're the Joseph Communications. It's the reason I love to get those into prisons is because it tells them who they really are. It gives them a completely different perspective than all the programming we've been. You know, it's very empowering. It lets them know that they're, you know, a part of God and as worthy as anyone else, regardless of what they've done. I mean, it's just a beautiful, beautiful teachings. And but we did have the experience of going into a prison a couple times. One was we did Toastmasters and inside a prison, and that was heart-wrenching. As David said, it really just shook us to the core. And they had to stand up and give like a 1-minute talk about what you want to do in the next 60 days. And one guy stood up and said, I want to see my daughter. I've never seen her. And she's like 4 years old now. And I said, well, can't you like Skype or Zoom with your daughter? And he said, and she lives within 10 miles of here. And he said, what's Skype? What's Zoom? And so we said, well, we brought a book. It wasn't the Joseph books, it was something else, Revolutionary Agreements by Marian Head. We said, we brought a book for you to put in your library. And they said, what library? You know, it was just, you know, I mean, you know, it just really tore our hearts out to see how this is. Whenever someone's doing prison work, to see the injustices that this country is served up, it breaks my heart. Truly breaks my heart. So I really, you know, honor those that can reach out and do what they can. Viola?
Yes, here in Oregon, we have something called the Oregon Project, conducted by a guy named Fred Sly. And if you go online and it's nonviolence communication, what they use, and it's beautiful. There's a video where they even, I mean, I cried the whole time I saw that, because the prisoners who had been murderers and all, you know, drug addicts and all kinds of people, men, they were all men, and they have a teddy bear that they give them a teddy bear, and that's what they use, and they sit in a circle, you know, and it's a beautiful anyway, I want to give you the exact name so you can look it up. It's the Oregon Prison Project. And it's even people in Scotland are passing the video around. So it's a worldwide movement now.
Oh, yeah, please, please. Yeah. Anyone else want to jump in? It's been a very beautiful evening. Very, very rich.
Thank you. I just
I
put
will
my link
just-
for the training. Go ahead, you go, sorry.
I will just quickly say that I have not had the opportunity to work with the prison system, but my sister is a master gardener in Pennsylvania. And she and some of her group started a gardening program. And it was awesome because they grew herbs and they shared the food that they raised with everybody. I mean, they counted out peas to share them with everybody. And it was just really touching
Wow.
and nourishing.
Mhm. Wow. That's beautiful. Beautiful.
X.
Yes. Thank you. What an inspiring and hopeful evening. I mean, hearing everyone chime in on the world they envisioning or the world they actually co-creating right now is so powerful. And I mean, really, really, we are co-creating the new world. Now, I've put some information in the chat, and to save the chat, you just click on the 3 dots at the bottom, and you'll be able to save the chat onto your computer. Now, Noelle connected with the CCC here through a platform called Weaver, and where people are trying to weave projects and connections. So I put the link in the chat. And also there's a project out of Quebec here. There's a summary in English, and it's a bit more elaborate in French, but it's to encourage effective participatory democracy and to empower citizens' collaborative solidarity. Because if we really want to see the world, we have to weave connections, and we have to have effective tools with the technology we have, which is digital, which is enabling us to connect in the noosphere at the moment. Thank you very much, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you.
Wait, so Tex, where's that Weaver link that you said?
It's in the chat. I just I put it in the chat a little up.
I was looking through, I can't see it. I wasn't sure which one it was.
I'll put it again if you, yeah.
And Catherine, are you on our mailing list to get our monthly roster of speakers?
No, I don't think so. Yeah, that could be good.
Yeah, if you want to put your email in the chat, I'm going to be sending out the November list pretty soon here. And yeah, this has been really, really a wonderful evening. And Tex, do you want to tell them about next week? You are going to be hosting yet again.
Well, there again, people have been connecting with CCC through the Weaver platform. So next week we have Dr. Richard Shilley and Tez Gabriel, who's from Pathways to Peace. Mm-hmm. And they'll be talking about ending racism. I mean, I've heard them before, and it's going to be very powerful, I'm sure. So I invite you to come. I'm just, how can I say, a little instrument, and collaborating with Noelle and Bob here at CCC.
And we're so grateful. I just love Tex and Annie, you know, brought so many wonderful guests, and you know, thank you everyone for being here this evening. Thank you, Noelle.
Thank you, Noelle.
I like the ring of that. Thank you, Noelle.
Thank you, Noelle, and thank you, Catherine. Catherine, I mean, that was powerful. Thank you.
Amazing.
Yes.
Thank you, Catherine.
Yeah. So we're here. Yes, it's really wonderful. You have a gift. And,
but I also think that this evening, it's very much proof of emergent dialogue. We came together, and out of this space with a little moderation from Noelle and a bit more active participation of Catherine. I mean, we're living with a sense that there's so much richness and goodness that's possible and that's happening. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Indeed.
I want to thank you too, just very, very much for the opportunity. That was just lovely for me. Every time I do it, I get a little more hopeful that this is for real. Thank you.
Great.
Yeah, it was great.
Thank you so much.